and how good they looked against LIU. Vegas had them as a 40-point favorite in that game. LIU, and I know Rod Strickland is their head coach, and they look like pretty decent players. Should not have been on the court with UConn men.
Well,
that wasn't fair.
And they were missing 5 of their guys due to COVID. They had a couple of staff members that were out as well.
You think that would have made a big difference?
Maybe a little bit. It may have been a little bit better on D, but the men, I loved how they played that basketball game. There was so many different ways that they can either play down to their competition or take their foot off the gas pedal, but they played them like they were playing Villanova in the Big East. Love watching this team play, too. I mean, you see highlights all over the floor. 3-pointers are falling down at a really fine clip. They shot 43% from 3-point. A lot of different options on offense. In clutch moments, you've got freshmen that are playing at starting role clips. You've got blowouts like this one where you can get everybody minutes and they can get more experience. I just think the world of this team, top to bottom. Poll just came out.
UConn's number 1.
Depending on which one you looked at.
The one that just came out.
Which one you got?
Said the one that AP.
AP got him at 1. That's good to see. I saw a coach's poll that had him at 3 with Purdue and Virginia on top of them. But I think they're well-deserved of a number 1 ranking in this country, for sure.
I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, they're 11-0. They're off to one of their best starts in 20 years. I mean, that's the main thing. And like you said, their weapons are ridiculous. Calcaterra's shooting over 50% from 3.
Wow.
But doesn't take a lot of threes. Jordan Hawkins is your best, I think, shooter from 3.
6 for 9 against LIU. 6 for 9.
Andre Jackson is he's a Swiss Army knife. He does everything well, defense, offense. Occasionally takes a 3. He'll hit them when you need him to, but mostly cleaning up the boards, getting fast breaks started, getting out there on the fast break, getting back on defense. I mean, he really is the leader on this team. And then, Sanogo and Klingon really complement each other. One guy can sit, the other guy comes in, you don't miss a beat. And Klingon's a little different player because he's a rim protector, but he's blocking shots. And, where Sanogo is just a naturally big, good athlete in every facet that he does. So, I mean, I think that everything considered with the transfer people and what Dan Hurley has done and how well coached they are on defense, I'm not saying national championship, but it's nice to see in 5 years go from where they were to a well-oiled machine right now, even losing all the talent that they lost. I mean, Tyrese Martin and Cole and some of these other
Isaiah
cats. Whaley. I mean, they had guys that did jobs like that. They have replaced them in some positions with better people that do better things. And I think that's, if you can upgrade every year and continue to upgrade, and the way people are looking at Donovan Klingon, I hope the kid stays 3 years, but it's almost like some of these people want to push this kid out of UConn after one season. But at 7'2", as versatile as he is, and the fact that he's a basketball player, he's not just a big guy on a basketball team. This team's fun to watch, and that's not just because I'm a fan or we cover them. It's if I saw any team play as well as UConn's playing, I would say the same thing.
This line on Donovan Klingon is the most efficient line I've seen in basketball at any level. 15 minutes. He played 15 minutes on Saturday. 10 for 10.
Didn't need anything more.
10 for 10, 11 boards, no turnovers, 2 blocks, 1 steal. Now, he has 1 for 3 from the free throw line, and that
was actually the worst part of his game.
Exactly.
He's Mr. Free Throw.
He will say, sorry about those 2 misses on the line. Won't happen again, because it is a big part that he wants to focus in on. But 15 minutes in that line is just it's something else to look at the efficiency there. And we don't really talk about Tristan Newton or Naheem Aline enough.
Newton's fantastic.
They're both fantastic. They can score. They can play D. It's just a lot of interchangeable parts, especially at the guard position, where they can run that 1-3-1-D. They can go full court man press. It all starts there. I mean, as much as we harp on the shooting of Caravan, Hawkins, Calcaterra, Andre Dawson. I want to call him Andre Dawson. Andre Jackson and his moves to the hoop, and then those big guys down low, that's all good. Yep. But everything in practice, everything on this roster, everything is built around defense. And those guys work so hard on that part of the game that the offense part just seems easy for them. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, the defense works so hard. Caravan, coming in as young as he is, has done a phenomenal job.
On a bunch of different sizes of people, 3 through 5.
Exactly. So, and Caravan, even my wife a couple times was like, that was a great rebound by Klingon. I'm like, you mean Caravan? She's like, really?
Yeah.
Because he is a big, long kid. What is he, about 6'7", 6'8"? He's got long arms. He's all over the rims all the time. And then Andre Jackson, it's like watching like a LeBron James type athlete. The dude is unbelievable. When he made that move, and I know it made the Sports Center top 10, it was number 1, where he's in kind of in front of a guy. He bangs into him. He goes behind his back, lays it up, and dunks it. But that people who just saw that for the first time, that's the way that dude plays.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm like, if you could slow him down a little bit, I don't know. But that he is just so out of control, fast, talented. And, honestly, I think he could probably get a quarter off the top of the backboard. I mean, that's how you describe guys like him. And so I honestly, as long as he continues to evolve his offensive part of the game, his defense is what's going to get him drafted. I mean, I think there's very few guys that can play defense like him at his size and be as mobile as he is.
So the Big East will start here in a couple of days as they start at Butler. Now, if people remember Butler for the last couple of years, they haven't been the best Big East team.
New coach.
Thad Matta takes over, old Ohio State coach. A lot of pedigree with him, not only in the recruiting category, but I agree, Dibs. I think this dude can coach the pants off of anybody. And he is great on sidelines, great on out-of-bounds plays. They're a much tougher team, much different team than we've known Butler in the past couple of years. So it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's the Big East. Anything can happen. Still an undefeated squad. I like everything that I see going into conference play with this men's team. Everything.
All right, to talk about the women a little bit, if you missed the first hour of the show, Gina Auriemma's mother passed away. Marcella, she passed away on Thursday. And obviously Gino, with a heavy heart, was able to coach the Uconn women over the weekend. She was 91 years old, and as the first thing my wife said, she's at every game. It's true. She was at almost every game she could possibly get to, Gino's mother, so she'll be very badly missed by the entire program. But these girls are decimated. The injuries, Nika Mule was the latest one. She's in concussion protocol, couldn't play. We talked about it in the first hour. Lopez Seneschal was in foul trouble from the get-go, and it was something that they desperately needed. And so you had the freshman Betancourt had to run the offense a lot in the first half, and that allowed Maryland to get out to a lead that really they never relinquished. I mean, I think we tied it at one point at 62, but the point was Maryland felt pretty good, although they had a ton of injuries. Some of their 4 of their best players were sitting on the bench, so you can't feel sorry for Maryland or UConn. Everybody's has injuries. Everybody's playing with all these types of injuries. So hopefully UHAS gets back in there soon. I thought the girls did an amazing job. There's points where you're looking at these freshmen and sophomores, and you could just see they're not as well polished as they will be in a year or two. And, Maryland took advantage of that, I thought, on their three-point shooting in the first half. I don't know what that one girl's name was, but she was annoying as hell. She was just standing there hitting threes, and really we didn't have anybody on her. I don't know who she is. I don't care. Don't care. We don't cover Maryland. Don't care. But, you're all cocky and stuff because most of our best team is sitting on the bench. 70 points sitting on the bench. Feel good about the first beating of UConn. But when UConn plays them again and they're at full complement strength, I think it'll be a different story.
Teams are smelling blood in the water, Dibs. I mean, I would feel the same way, especially after that second quarter. They went on a big run there to end the first half, and going into the locker room, it was all smiles.
A terrible call, by the way. Let me bring this up because I watched every second of the game.
Yeah.
Betancourt is tied up with a Maryland player. The Maryland player fouls the living crap out of her and knocks her down, and they call a foul on UConn. And I really think it's biased at this point. I think, listen, this girl was doing everything she possibly could to get away from the girl. It was almost like a pass interference in football when someone's holding you. And so, I just thought the officiating at times was atrocious, but I'm a little biased in that respect. But that personally was just crap. And you've got 3 officials that are right there. They should have went and looked at the replay and should have given it to Uconn because Betancourt didn't deserve that foul. It was a 7-point swing right after that. They went down and hit a 3.
Yep. Then
Then they made another 3, and it was just like, it was total garbage. That changed the entire complexion of the game. And you know me with officiating. When officials change the outcome of a contest, I get ticked off, and that's when I saw it change totally different than a tight ball game to Maryland going into the locker room comfortably.
And then coming out, I was really proud at the way Uconn women responded in the third quarter. I think there was a 12-0 run where they actually take the lead back. And then, just like I say, blood in the water when these teams are getting one up on Uconn, as soon as they lose a lead, it seems like they get all nervous again. They just did not take advantage of the start of the fourth quarter like I thought they would and played the rest of the thing out. With some bad passes. I mean, there's some turnovers there that should never happen, and it's not some of the young girls. Like Caroline Descharme had 6 turnovers. Aubrey Griffin, who, by the way, had just a phenomenal hustle game. Like, she ended up with 15 boards and some rebounds she shouldn't have been getting. But still, she had 5 turnovers. That's 11 turnovers between 2 players that should not be making those mistakes. They've been looking for a point guard. You thought you had one in Paige. She's not going to be here all year. You thought you have one in Nika. She's going to be out for a couple of more games. Someone else at point guard's got to step up and run the show. I think it's Lou, but she is going to be in foul trouble. It's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. I think it's Inez, but like you said, she'll be better in a couple of years. She might not be ready to be the floor general yet. But 22 turnovers altogether for Uconn women's basketball. That has to be a high mark for them in that category for a long time.
Yeah, and DeBerry and Patterson, they helped a little bit, but at times they have trouble holding on to the ball. And I think that's because the more older girls from Maryland they sniffed that, especially DeBerry. She's so tall. When she puts it down in her waist, their guards would fall down on her and they grab the ball away from her and stuff like that. That's all things you're going to coach out of these girls in the next couple of years. But yeah, it's get UConn when you can. I think Gino's right. I mean, right now some of these teams are loving beating down UConn. UConn's been doing this for 30 plus years. Gino's been here 38 years. But I think once you start getting some of the girls back, Uhas, Nika Mule, I think by the time March rolls around, this is a totally different team. And the girls that are playing right now are going to be more seasoned and they're going to be comfortable. And I'll tell you, they're still a great defensive team, a great foul shooting team. And even though they had some turnovers, I just think that some of those turnovers could have been prevented, if some of these girls had more playing time. And once they get more playing time and they're more comfortable, because a couple of times Aubrey Griffin tried to force it down low to Aaliyah Edwards. There's a couple other times they tried to force it to DeBerry, and that might have been the plan that they were going to the taller girls because we had the height advantage on Maryland. But I think there's some times where you just can't force it. Sometimes you got to pull up and take a 15-footer or a 10-footer. And it's like you've been playing basketball your whole life. You guys should be better than that at these points. But other than that, I could care less. I could care less that Maryland won. I'm more upset about, some of these girls might think it was their fault. Absolutely not. I mean, tip your cap to Maryland. They have a great coach, and they were ready to take it to the Uconn Huskies. I think if they were on at Gamble or even the XL, I think we win that game.
Well, they got a full week, and they're not back at Gamble or the XL, but a place they rarely lose, and that's Uncasville, Connecticut, Mohegan Sun. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame Women's Showcase. They will take on Florida State, another ACC team, on Sunday, December 18th. That's a 1 o'clock tip. Now, the women have not lost back-to-back games since 1993. 1993. Oh, but you're so right. And if we feel like broken records, because this is exactly the kind of talk we had last year when Paige went down the first time. All these girls are going to get more experience.
Yep.
By the time we get to end of February, beginning of March, we're going to be at full strength, or at least fuller strength, and they're going to be playing better basketball at that time. And yeah, I totally agree with that. I just think that it's an opportunity more than a detriment. And they went through this exact same thing last year. Exact same thing. So really, it's nothing new. You're just going to have to deal with it, just like they did last year.
Yeah, what was this girl's name? Diamond Miller?
Diamond Miller's nice.
Yeah, she didn't have any points in the first half. She got a lot of those points in the second half, and a lot of them were on lousy foul calls. I mean, that was another thing. There was just some shoddy refereeing. And listen, it's not just women's basketball; it's men's basketball. It's the NBA. It's unbelievable. I think more that you have replay to as a crutch, and you can go and check out. Oh, if I screwed that call up, I can go over there and check it. I think that's bogus. You should be making the quality calls first, so that you go over there and it's like, listen, I made the right call the first time. It can't be overturned. I mean, it's just I've seen some of the most horrific, and you and I both watch a ton of basketball. I watch girls basketball. I watch boys basketball on any given night, and I'm just like, that was an atrocious call. Nobody was even near that person, and I just think that sometimes just because you got a whistle in your mouth doesn't mean you have to use it.
Well, to give these refs a bone, and I don't know if this is going to be a good thing to say since you're so hot on them. 17 personal fouls called on Maryland, only 15 on UConn.
Yeah, but the ones they called on UConn were in big situations. Yeah. Yep. And some of them were just terrible. That Betancourt call, by the way, in a I think it was even a tie game at the time, 7 points went Maryland's way right after that.
I'm a fan. I'm an Inez fan. I wish she would take the ball to the hoop more and look for more of her scoring opportunities, but I'm a fan of hers. I think that she can be a floor general in this offense.
All right, we have Alex Chu next, and this is definitely an interview that we want you to listen to. This is about getting books in the hands of needy kids from the ages of 0 to 5, and when they go to doctors' offices and pediatricians' offices, they need to get books in their hands, and Alex Chu from Reach Out and Read is going to tell you how to do it next on the Rob Dibble Show with Ben Darnell on your afternoon drive. Kurt Kaplan on the ones and twos.